So this was interesting. I think this was on the 23rd. What was the 23rd? Saturday, yeah, last Saturday. I had this feeling. Man, it's been a while since I seen my buddy Sean. I grew up with him in an apartment complex as kids, and funny, he lives across the street now in a house from that apartment complex. But I was like, yeah, I texted, what are you doing tonight? He goes, oh, I'm on call, so nothing. I'm at home. I'm like, well, let me come over. He's like, yeah, come on. I just felt like I wanted to come over. Like I just need to go hang out and just chat with him a bit. See what he's up to. It's been a little while. And so I go over there by myself. It's just him and his wife, basically. And, he just asked me, what have I been up to? How's everything going? All this stuff. And I'm like, we're talking, of course, Biden and politics. And well, this might happen. And arrest this. And, all that stuff. And here's the theory. This could happen. He's like, man, I hope so. This is crazy. Yeah, I know. So, we start talking. And of course, I mentioned a few things about this Richard Woo Woo dude, and his girlfriend is a channeler, and she gave me a few channeling sessions now, and she said some pretty incredible things, and some things there's no way for her to absolutely know. And I said, the other day I was about to ask her a question, and she, right when I started to open my mouth and say a single word, she answered it, like she read my mind practically. I was like, it was crazy. And so we're talking about all this stuff, and I said, we're talking about what maybe the future might hold, new technology coming out, how she had told me about how some people, they do these ECETI the CE5 protocol from Dr. Greer, Stephen Greer, about, gathering together with like-minded people, go sit somewhere on a beach side or wherever in a giant open field for who knows, and you do like a meditation where you're trying to basically call down these craft and let them power up their craft so you can see them, just stuff like that. I haven't really done anything like that before, by the way, but it's like that. So she mentioned in one of the channelings, the recent one, that people do that. She goes, but you need to stand on the ground, especially by your mountain, and you'll connect that way. So I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. And I know, so I had some questions about some of that stuff, which I haven't really made public, but I was telling him about it and what she told me about the mountain and history and some really cool stuff about it. And, again, about these ETs, I mentioned that, and I'm like, did I tell you that time where I got real scared, like panic attack out there? He goes, no. I go, oh man, let me tell you this little story. So I told him the story where it happened to JC first, and then I went out, many months later with my daughter. Then it happened to me, and it was an identical thing. Scared the hell out of us. We were just thought we were going to be trapped down there, never be able to escape. It was really, really weird and very uncomfortable. A panic. It was like a panic attack, and so I was telling him that story, and I said, I ultimately asked her, what is that? And she said, well, there's beings in that mountain, and when someone gets a little too close for their comfort, they basically can scare them away without having to do anything to them, like harm them or anything, or, they make you scared yourself and you just turn around and you don't know it's them. And I'm like, oh my God, we kind of had a suspicion, like, oh my gosh. So anyway, so I'm telling him this whole story, and I'm like, oh man, next time I go back, she's telling me, my light, it's going to be a lot brighter spiritually, be a lot brighter, and they already know about me apparently. And she's like, I'm like, well, I'd like to try to communicate. I was like, I don't want to communicate with the dark ones, but you said there are light ones there, And she said, yeah, it's possible. She's like, but they know about you. When you go back, yeah, they're really going to know. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking to myself, I may just go try to, do something. I don't know, see something, ask for something. You know what I mean? So I'm telling him about this and how exciting it's going to be. And he's like excited too, like, oh, that'd be so cool. We're just talking like that. And, man, these beings might be able to communicate with me, she said, and could you imagine, like, if I'm able to do something where I can, like, call something out and you see something in the sky, like, or whatever, like, oh man, we're just talking about that. Like, man, I can't wait to go out there again because, I want to see if anything can happen, or if I see something or sense something, now that I know what that was the first time, like, you can't pull that trick on me again because I know it now, that made me scared or whatever. And not only that, my name's Jason at 4, I come in peace. Like, let's communicate. Teach me things. Come, let me introduce you to myself and my family or whatever. You know, that's so I have all these thoughts. And we're just talking all this crap, and I'm there for like 2.5, 3 hours probably. I mean, we're there for a while. I'm there for a while talking. We're just chatting, and I'm like, next thing I know, and it's like, 11:30 at night. I'm like, all right, I guess I better get on out of here. It's about time to head home. So he's like, all right, I'll see you later. So I walk out the door, and there's trees and stuff, but there's a big gap in between the trees where you can see the night sky, and it was a little bit cloudy. So I'm not sure if any of you have ever seen something like this. I'm going to describe to you. I got a video to show you, by the way, from my phone, but of course it's at night, and the regular phone camera, that little tiny lens, it looks like crap at night. You know what I mean? You got to have a big lens to have really high quality video at night, which phones typically don't have. So sorry about that, but it is what it is. And I was just holding it straight up because I was like, oh my God, I'll get into it in a second. So I go outside, and I'm just walking about 20 steps to my car in his parking, driveway or whatever, just a regular house. And I immediately am drawn to the sky because there's a light shining up there, pretty bright. And it's got an interesting color to it. And by the way, where I live, which isn't that awfully far from him, I see airplanes in the sky all the time because there is a small airport nearby, and Tampa International, there's just a flight path apparently that you can see them coming from ways out. It's very whitish light, not like the darker color. So like what they call like a daylight light, like a bulb, is like a 2300, 2500K rating. The real white ones are like 6000 or 5500K. So real white is the higher number. Real darker, like orangish, if you will, is more like a daylight. That's the lower number, just the FYI. So whatever these planes have on them, I don't know what the technical color is, but they all pretty much look the same to me. They've got the big bright white lights from far away, and you can see them coming, and once they get close enough, you can hear them. And then they'll get close enough to where you can see the lights flashing, So as I walk out his door, I'm immediately drawn up in the sky. There's a light, and it's coming directly at me. I mean, it's way the hell up in the sky, but it's coming in the direction of, like, perfectly in between the trees, the limbs or whatever. Like, and it's a big spot, by the way. The trees had a big opening, it was like one side of the driveway, the other side of the driveway. So the direction's coming towards me, so I'm like, oh, it's going to fly over his house ultimately, if I stand here long enough. And I'm seeing how fast it's coming, and honestly, I didn't think it was anything other than a plane at first. And I'm like, okay, it's close enough where I should be seeing some flashing lights. And boy, it's pretty yellowish orangish, like pretty much. And I'm like, huh. So I'm just kind of a little bit mesmerized. I'm just standing there, and my whole body's going, get your phone out and video. Get your phone out and video this. And I'm thinking, no, it's an airplane. What the hell am I going to do that for? Of course, that's that inner voice, that spirit, what I'm telling you, get the damn phone out. Listen to the damn thing. Stop arguing with it and get it out. So finally, I pull the damn thing out. Okay, start recording. So I recorded about halfway through this little episode of when I first saw the light coming at me, and I'm just staring at it. Now, when it came towards me, it gets way up in the sky. I don't mean like it was really close, but it was coming in my direction. So here's what I have to ask you if you've ever seen something like this. Because maybe it's, at the end of the day, when I show you, I'm like, it's just an airplane. All right, fine. But have you ever seen, and again, there was a little bit of clouds, and you'll see it where it kind of disappears and comes back and stuff. But it was very light clouds. And as it was coming towards me, so think of a ball of light, right? Here's the ball of light. The very top, about the length of just the finger to the knuckle. So just think of this as a straight, very perfectly straight, call it a laser beam, if you will, of light going up. And then there's another one on the other side, almost like a weird looking triangle thing. So one down here, one straight up at the top, and then the other leg like over here. So, this was the bottom of it, and this was the top of it. So it was like was it like the X-Wing fighter? One of those, what was that one fighter on, I think it was the Death Star, the Darth Vader's, where it had that one straight thing and landing thing like that, whatever. So anyways, line up, two down like that. And they're all equal distance. And it's just it was just like a bright, like, I don't want to call it a reflection. It's the middle of the night. It's 11:30 at night. And I thought, well, maybe, is it the clouds? Because I'm seeing the light through the clouds. It's making this kind of weird triangular laser beam thing at the top, left, bottom right, bottom left. Again, all equal distance. And I thought, huh, that's strange. But maybe. But I'm thinking, wait a minute. How many times have you seen these things in the sky by your house even? And it's either overcast or whatever. You see them all the freaking time. And I don't recall seeing one do that. So I thought that was strange. And I'm just like mesmerized staring at this thing going. And my feeling inside is, they heard you talking. You're like that level now, or whatever you want to call it. They hear you now. Like you were talking to your friend, how cool it would be, you can't wait, this and that. They heard you. Because you're talking about them, it's like automatically they were connected somehow. Like almost like you pull them, you talk about them, they just get pulled in. So they were like, I mean, only 20 seconds had gone by, and either before or after, and it'd have been gone. I would have left, got in my car and been gone, or I would have still been in his house. And then, so I'll show it to you in a second, but then after it happened, I was like, oh my God, let me go. I texted him, I said, dude, come outside. I was like, man, I think I'm not sure, but I might have just saw a damn UFO. We're inside talking about seeing them, and I can't wait. I'm going to try to call them, and I think I literally just walked out your house and one was waiting for me. So that whole time we were sitting there talking was another 15 minutes probably. And I showed him the video, and he's like, yeah, it looks like it does do this little S-turn move real quick. And it was right when I was also moving the camera because I could see where it was going to go behind the tree, basically, the light. So I was trying to go move a bit. So my hand was moving a little bit. But when you watch the video, I got slowed down right now. It does look like it does a quick little S, and then it goes away, then it powers back up. But again, well, maybe it was a dark cloud it went behind, and then it came back out from another cloud. Maybe. But it was very interesting. And for that 15 minutes, we saw no other aircraft, no other flight path, or that certainly isn't the flight path because we'd have seen them one after the other, like I see by my house. And you can see them really far by my house. So I just thought, could it be? Did they actually do that? Or is it just a freaking airplane and I'm smoking crack? And I just happened to walk outside and there was a damn light in the sky and that was it. Well, here's the video. And it's mainly from the 13 seconds. The remainder of this is me waiting to see if it comes back behind this bush, this tree limb here. And it doesn't, so I don't need to go past 13 seconds. So there it is in the sky. Now keep in mind, when it was coming at me, it was coming where my pointer is, not up, down, left, or right. It's just coming at me, right? So I can see it getting closer and closer, basically, because it's coming towards me. So yeah, there's a little bit of movement in the sky, but not left, not right, just coming towards me. And then by the time I'm done arguing with my stupid self, it had changed course really fast. It instantly went and just turned. And I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, yeah, I just pressed record just in time because I'm like, that son of a bitch just instantly turned. And I go, that's interesting. So now it's like really got my attention. So that's where it picks up off right now. And I've got it slowed down. Yes, you're going to see the camera move. But I'm going to walk you through this a little bit. So let me play. I'll let it play, then I'll rewind and walk you through it. And that's it. It never comes back. That little blip right there, that little bloop, and it's gone. So I want you to watch this tree limb, this bush, or whatever, the leaves. Because when that thing goes across the screen, it's really in a pretty straight shot, and it's going like towards the top of this. Now granted, I know I moved my camera, so that does affect this. But you will see when it starts heading right around here, and that's of course when I start moving my camera because I can see it's going to go behind this tree, and I want to continue watching it. So I moved to try to capture it. But even though my camera is moving, look at where it starts up here and then ends up down here like an S. It does kind of like this little weird S thing, disappears, brightens up one last time, and then it's gone. All right, so let's watch that again. And again, I do have it slowed down. The video's slowed down right now. I mean, again, I know I'm moving the camera, but even so, there's objects like the tree that you should be able to kind of tell what the thing's doing. So I'm gonna slow it down even more. Speed slower, and let's see what happens now. So you can see it's on a clear track to go right here, right where my mouse is. And then it goes down. It literally does this little S maneuver. And then it shows up one more time down here. So let's watch that one more time. And again, the trajectory is this way, right here. So there's this kind of this little tiny gap here. But ultimately, when I'm done, you're going to see this light down here. So it's way up here. And then it does the little S thing, and then it lands here. Or goes behind the bush or the tree. Disappears. One last time it shows up. Boom, right here. What I would have given to have my freaking night vision goggles with me on that one. And again, one more time, just for the hell of it. I mean, my dudes, that is definitely doing a little, even if it's a small S, it's very far away. That would normally kill somebody in an aircraft just doing a turn like that. Again, I got it really slowed down. As a matter of fact, I'm going to open it back up and just play it normal speed for you. And just this is actually live, you know, what it would have been like. So let's watch it maybe a couple times and see what it does. So, you know, again, for y'all skeptics, it's literally going up here in a straight line, just perfectly straight, before it does this weird thing. And even though I'm moving my camera, because I'm where I'm at, it would not put that thing way the hell down here. It's too far way out there. I mean, any 20 seconds later, because again, that was 13 seconds, and I've already been watching it for probably 10 before my dumb self said, get your freaking camera out, bozo. Because if I got it out earlier, see, that's the weird thing. When it was coming directly at me, it had that line going to the top, one down here, and one down here. And I'm like, how strange. Very bright and just odd. I'm like, well, maybe it's some kind of weird anomaly because of the cloud or whatever, a little bit of cloud cover there. I'm thinking, I've seen lights behind clouds before, and I don't recall seeing that. But, you know, maybe. When it did the left turn, that's when I'm like, oh my God, get the dumb camera out, dumbass. Get it going. You know, get your phone out. When it made the left turn, no more. It was still just as bright, but it stopped doing that whole thing with the line up and the two at the bottom. That went away. And I don't know what to make of it, but I just thought, my gut instinct was they knew you're talking about them. They know you're of no harm to them. Perhaps they're going to get ready one of these days to meet you or show you or do something, because they just let you know, yeah, we heard all that stuff you were talking about inside his house. Since you were talking about us, we pretty much heard it. Through some kind of quantum physics, perhaps. And then the funny thing was, at the time I'd unlocked my car doors to get in the car, and I saw the light, and that's when I just stopped. I'm like, no, I'm not going to my car yet. I'm not going to get in. As I started walking out a little bit away from my car just to get a better view of the light, my door locked by itself, and I thought, I heard it go click. I'm like, okay, I didn't press the button. Now, granted, I do have a Honda Pilot 2004. It is common, I've learned this, that if you lock the thing and then you go somewhere and you come back and then you unlock it, but you actually don't open a door to get in, it locks itself again within 15-20 seconds. So that was normal. But I didn't know it was normal right then. I thought, how strange was that? Because I've never not gotten in the car, so I didn't know it would relock itself by itself. So I call him out. We're out there talking, and I said, man, I was like, you know what? I think my door, let me check. I said, it is locked. I said, I unlocked my damn door. And I thought I heard it lock when I went to go watch this thing. I'm like, holy shit, did that thing mess with my doors? You know, I'm like, it's getting crazy. But then we did a test. And then during one of the tests, I did open the door after locking it, and then I unlocked it, and then I opened the door, closed the door as if I was getting in the car. It did not lock itself. And, or excuse me, did it lock itself? It did lock itself. It did lock itself because the lights were on the inside, and when it went click, it locked itself. And I thought, well, that was weird. I don't think it's supposed to do that. So we did another test, and I opened the door, and it didn't lock itself. And that's how it's supposed to be. But if you lock the door and then unlock, I'm talking about with the remote, and then unlock it, but don't go in the car, so no doors open, it will re-lock itself by itself within like 20 seconds or so. But when I tested it one time, it didn't do that. So I'm like, well, wait a minute, it's supposed to do it. It didn't do it. So it was just, my doors were doing some weird things when that thing showed up. That's all I'm saying, the lock. But then it was back to normal. All the tests after that were fine. So I just thought, holy crap, that's kind of strange. Imagine if they were messing with me over here from a distance. So I don't know about that part, honestly. Like, you know, I was so kind of intrigued by the whole thing. I wasn't really paying too much attention to the door, but so I was like, wait a minute, let me do an experiment. You know, we did it a few times, and it seemed like most of the times it worked except once. And I thought, well, that was strange. I wasn't supposed to do that one time. So, whatever. All right, I don't care about that part. That thing flying in the sky, though, only presenting itself as I'm walking out his house after being there for 2.5 hours or so, in a specific window of time. Again, 20, 30 seconds before or after, it was gone. It wouldn't have been there. So it's almost as if they said, we're going to wait for that jabroni to come out of his house to just basically say, hi, we heard you. We're going to go speak at the council and ask if it's okay to finally come out now and, you know, present ourselves to people like you. You know. So anyways, it was really cool. And I thought, man, was it or was it not? So anyways, just wanted to share that with you. Thought it was odd, crazy, and cool at the same time. And I can just imagine being out in New Mexico, because there's no light pollution out there in this little town. I mean, inside the town, probably a little bit, but you go anywhere near that mountain, it's gone. You could see pure night sky, stars, everything. And I thought, man, it'd be so easy to go park even on the way out to the mountain somewhere on the dirt road and get the laser lights out, get the night vision out, and do a little something. See if we can call something in, man. And I thought, well, if I do the spiritual retreat adventure thing, which I do plan on doing, it's more like when, not if, that might be something we do one night. Hey, let's see if we can call something down. Let's go up to the spot over here and see if we can call something down. See if we can see some lights in the sky, you know, whatever. So that'll be something for another time. And I can just imagine being known, like, oh my God, that guy Jay Snip, he's known for like calling things down now. The lights will come out, he calls, and these freaking lights show up in the sky above the mountain. Like, could you imagine how cool that would be? Like, yeah, you book a trip, don't worry, we have a high probability of something showing up here tonight, you know, at least from a distance in the night sky. And wouldn't it be cool if that would progress into, oh, it's no longer way over there over the mountain. Holy crap, it just zipped over here and left. And then, oh my God, it's progressed some more. I think there's something around us. I can sense a person, but I can't really see a person, but I think someone's here with us. And then maybe it progresses again to, oh my gosh, there they are. You can see them. That would be so cool. And like, Jay Snip's the guy, all of a sudden that's known for that. From realist news, politics, zero hedge, to cryptos, to mountains, treasure hunting, and UFOs and ETs. Oh man, that would be freaking awesome. So anyways, I wanted to share that with you because that was just crazy. Take care.